Babe said, play your position. Don't make nobody live free in your mind or in your mansion. They need to stop them make assumption. Free bars stick like gumption. Chop. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for paste the hook up. Big mistake. We judge the content by the cover and not read the book up. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for paste the hook up. Big mistake. We judge me by the color of my skin and by the way how I look. Then they try rob we culturally. We wax lyrically. Spiritually, truthfully, exposing evil spirits and hypocrisy. We do this habitually. Keep the mental vibes up at any party. Levels to my self game is type culinary. Dropping so many gems they call me jewelry. We no need no chat GBT. We do this organically. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for place the hook up. Big mistake. We judge the content by the cover and not read the book up. Boom, peel it off, give the technician time for place the hook up. Big mistake, for judge me by the color of my skin and by the way how I look. Bob say, if they turn tonight, you would have find out how much people they hate you just for spite. We good on this side, so they could have hate with all their might. Hate we cause we bars tight. Cause me and my team, they catch Lee light. Don't try bring your feelings to this fuck fight. Call me Cleveland when a time for take flight. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for place the hook up. Big mistake for judge the content by the cover and not read the book up. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for place the hook up. Big mistake for judge me by the color of my skin and by the way how I look. Then they try rob we culturally. We wax lyrically, spiritually, truthfully, exposing evil spirits and hypocrisy. We do this habitually. Keep the mental vibes up at any party. Levels to my self game is type culinary. Dropping so many gems they call me jewelry. We no need no chat GBT. We do this organically. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for place the hook up. Big mistake for judge the content by the cover and not read the book up. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for place the hook up. Big mistake for judge me by the color of my skin and by the way how I look.
Take a look at what they've done head to head. As I said, Sinners won 5 of the last 6. The fourth
Babe said, play your position. Don't make nobody live free in your mind or in your mansion.
12, Wimbledon was the one match they met on the grass. You just said Sinners.
Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. First, make you see how far your back bend. If you don't know how, get less of a current. Turn your body round like a smoothie or the blend. New dance trend. Style we no borrow, style we no lend. For sure, we no the beg no friend. From in the thing from way back when for the elders and the children. Can't do this thing till they gonna do it like charge. Back it up in the garage. Make them know we squad living large. Hold a salute every sarge. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. We like when you shake it. Never gonna DR if you can't fake it. Entire yam, heart and thick. Mama take 9 months to make it. Act like you didn't need Johnny cake before you bake it. Take a pass to the cars, then twerk it. Then your style you can't buy the new market. All of the styling bang surpass it, yo. Watch when they blaze it. Have the chimbal like we don't tease it. Tell the DJ, rewind it. Bust that sweat and work it. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. From Baka Jungle all the way to Yabra, Corozal and Dangriga. Check Pamali sister Julia, teaching the tourists the key kaka. Through the alley and the plaza, no jump past 41-mile marker. If you want something extra, I want you that feel Librata. Pay for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah.
Good evening. Welcome once again to our weekly podcast. This is Sea Smoke. And when you see smoke, you know it's fire. I am G. Michael Reed from Belize City. Big up the man CY in New York City, flipping the switches and making sure everything is running all right. Gregory Morrison coming out of Los Angeles. We have Lisa Castanedas and DJ Gillett joining us from time to time. So let's move right along. Last to discuss this week, the UDPs again up in arms over many matters. They have just, it seems for all intents and purposes, expelled 4 major members of their party. Actually, I was reading, before I go any further, and listening to a press conference where the ICJ, International Court of Justice, has ruled that Israel is an illegal state. I'm trying to verify that, see what's going on with that, but it seems like that the Secretary General make that decision, and that should be very interesting. And let's see how that plays out, and if the U.S. will once again veto like they always do. Terrible situation over there. The carnage continues. It has to stop at some point. Here in Belize, of course, lots of different issues. Many trying to verify that, see what's going on with that. With that. Okay. Policeman bust with cocaine. Policeman busted for carnal knowledge. Motorcycle accidents claiming record number of lives, and yet they're doing nothing about those annoying, loud, mufflerless motorcycles running all around city, sometimes 3, 4 in the morning, disturbance of the peace, they're breaking the law. I don't know what's going to come of that, but something is going to happen. The United Democratic Party filed a suit, or is it PUP that filed a suit against the United Democratic Party? Somebody about the electioneering. And I always wonder, how can 69 people live in one house and you can't determine whether that's true or not. And the registration process has begun, and they're piling up in even vacant lots where no house is, but they can't figure it out. Give me an idea. Don't they have people who work there? Don't they have people who go around and verify this? Isn't there somebody in charge of all of this? It's totally ridiculous. Another issue on the front burner, of course, the length of hair in the schools. The schools have certain rules, and now it's being challenged. I don't know if it can be challenged in a public forum. It has to be challenged in the courts. And they're saying it's against the Constitution. I don't know. Um, we discussed that and all the other issues that are on, again, the front burner, things that are bubbling for real. These are major issues, nothing at all um, trivial. Guatemala ram the boat of the territorial volunteers going on the Sarstoon. And I'm saying, and this is my opinion, ridiculous that we keep shaking our fists in the face of these people, taunting them as if we got some kind of backative. The BDF, is that it? The BDF is no IDF. Do you understand that? Um, I don't see a situation where they've been trying to invade us or aggress us in any way. We have their children come over and go to school over here. Our children go over to school and universities over there in Guatemala. Our people shop in Melchor. Now that the school is getting ready to start, everybody in Melchor is shopping. Nobody has been aggressed in any way over there. I think we're making a lot to do about nothing, and it seems like we sometimes are the ones doing the aggression here. It's in the courts. We need to wait to see what the court says. What we should be doing, though, is preparing ourselves in the event that we will need to take some action at some point. What do we maybe need to establish some sort of military group, militia groups? And we have a lot of gang boy out there who want to shoot and play crazy anyway. Let us prepare ourselves. Let us stockpile some weapons in us on Cape. Do something like that, but not jump out there in on the face like we so bad. We can't attack so big when we shit so small. We don't have packative. We not got no lot of weapons. Then got Air Force, Navy, tanks, warships. We got nothing. We got one skiff. So we're gonna have to be careful with that. So far, I have not seen any indication that these people really want to get hostile with us. We just have to go to the courts. Once they decide, we have a treaty of 1859 that establishes our borders, demarcate our borders properly. In 1993, a president named Jorge Serrano acknowledged the integrity of Belize, its sovereignty, its independence, and he was removed unceremoniously from office, probably as a result of that. After being removed, he was taken before the Guatemala Supreme Court, and the court confirmed that Serrano had every right, was in the right in doing what he did. He had the authority to do it. So that really stands. We have a lot to go to the court with. The one sticking point for Guatemala has been that we did not fulfill the dictates of the treaty because we're supposed to have a road to Guatemala. Well, we have 3 roads to Guatemala. We have one to Melchor, like I said, we use it every day to go shopping. We have one to Halacte, and we have one recently completed back to Arenal. So I don't think that we have any problem in winning this case in court. We would have a problem winning it militarily. Do we know what war is like? Do we really want to engage in any type of war? Whether we're right or wrong, Whether we're able to win it or not, do we want to subject our people to that? Have we seen what is happening in Ukraine and Palestine? What happened in Vietnam? What happened in all those other places where what? And we have not seen the true picture of these things. We only see what they show us. People, war is hell. Be careful what you wish for. I was just on a call with Gregory and um, Homie Lewis Gill, but I don't know who the guests are. See, why did you invite a couple of guests for tonight, Lisa? Were there some guests scheduled to come in?
Yes, we have Royal Coffee cast members and the director. They will present their show coming up in Belize
They're gonna present the show, or they're gonna talk about it. They're just gonna talk about it, right?
Yeah, they're going to discuss the show. We also have two representatives for the Park Fest coming in today too. A little later, in a little while.
All right, all right,
Oh, okay, so you hold it down. You know what I mean? We good.
all right. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
All right,
Lisa, you
so
okay? Lisa, she's not hearing me. Okay, that's okay. You hear me, G Mike?
I'm hearing you.
One love, G Mike. One love, G Mike. Handle.
All right, yeah, man. I see her. Mic is on, not muted. So yeah. Anyway, the Sammy Gentle is on. Greetings, Sammy. Yeah, the election fraud thing, like I say, something has to be done about that because they keep registering people. You can't register 69 people in a 1 building, man. You can't. I don't care who. There are people who are living in cramped conditions, cramped quarters, but not like that. And you can't go to the house and determine. You can't check who the bills are coming to. You cannot do. We have to stop it, man. Joe Coe has a quote that he likes to bring up. I believe it's from Aurelio Marcellus, or one of the guys, and it says that people, human beings, should be upright, not kept upright. In other words, we shouldn't have any kind of strenuous laws to have to keep us in line. We should be doing that based upon just the fact that we understand that's the best way for us to live. The best way to live is to do the right thing, whether it's profitable or not. Now, the right thing is that if you're going to vote, vote for who you choose for. But if you're going to have the parties doing all the kind of shenanigans, stacking up whatever area, electoral area they want to win, moving voters around like crazy, putting people, you need to vote in the division that you're registered in. Perfit made the point that maybe it shows some kind of weakness on the part of a particular division if they have to move people out of one division into that division. They do it because I imagine when they feel like they're strong in one area and weak in the other. There's a lot of jack and bowling that goes on. But at the end of the day, you're hoping that we'll have good governance from whoever gets elected and that we have a fair and free election. So far, it has not been altogether fair. There are a lot of things going on that should not be going on. I think a part of the problem is that we rely on the government of the day to put in place the checks and balance and mechanism that will hold them accountable and honest. How you into that? You can then a waste of time. You need to have. I believe that there are certain offices there, like the ombudsman, the integrity commission, but maybe they should be manned by the opposition, who will then do what they can to hold them in check. I do not think that, for instance, the ombudsman should be appointed by the government at the day. What is he going to do? Sing for his supper? It makes absolutely no sense, folks. None at all. So, um, we have an election, I believe, next year. It's 2024 now. The last election was 2020. we have a 5 year term. I've always felt that we should have a 4 year term. That's enough to determine. Few governments go the length at the term anyway. I remember the last PUP government called elections 3 or 4 times early. Remember one year they did after 2.5 years, I believe it was, and lost, by the way. Uh, I think we should have a set date for election, and you could say with a copy of the US if you want. But the US is the first Tuesday in every November. Makes a lot of sense that you know when the elections are gonna be. You don't wait and then see how you look at the polls and then hurry up and call an election because you know you're going to be sure to win. Something not fair about that. Let's have a set date for the election every 5. If you want 5, I would say 4, but at least after the term of office, you come back to the people for a new mandate. It's not that difficult to figure out. Another thing I would want to see done is that we elect a prime minister. And that doesn't mean that we have to go all the way over to a republic system, but we need to have somebody to hold responsible, somebody that can select and a cabinet based upon people who are versed in the field that they're going to be heading. The last time I remember, the last government had an electrician as the minister of health. Something
Yeah.
wrong with that, you know. Greg, good evening, man.
Good
What's up?
evening. Good evening. Good evening. Sorry, I had some problems getting in. It wanted me to go all the way back through
Uh, I,
Facebook
I,
and
I,
log
I,
in.
I'm wondering if Facebook is implementing a new format because I'm
Yeah.
seeing a few new things when I come on now, and
Mm.
many times I have to go back out and come back on myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I,
Okay.
uh,
But
I,
I was listening to you in your wrap of what you were saying there, and
okay.
it is very concerning. Our political structure is troubling. The result we're getting from our politician is deeply troubling, and we don't seem to be making progress, whether it's UDP or PUP. The people are suffering. The people are suffering, and these people are not doing anything as long as they have a majority that supports them in what they're doing. And that is unfortunate for this nation because it's going to drive us right off the deep edge of a failed state, because the people that are supporting them are the people that are somehow benefiting to the degree that they are, but it is not doing the best for the country and for the majority of people of the country. And
Let me
so
say hello to Ariel Hamilton, who is logged on. Ariel, nice to see you. Hope you can join us one time in the future to talk some more about the current affairs. Greg, I don't know if we don't need, and Joe continues to make this point, that we need more participation from the electorate. We need the people to be more
yeah,
involved
yeah,
and in holding these politicians' feet to the fire. We
but they're
cannot.
not. They're
Yeah,
not. They,
but we are not. We're not involved. We're going
yeah,
at the
yeah.
polls. Many of us take only $50 or $100 and go vote that way, and then spend the rest of the time to complain.
Hmm.
It makes absolute no sense. Maybe we need some ad hoc committees where people get together for no financial benefit. You don't have to get paid for anything. But the first thing you hear, how much you get? How much you gonna give me? How much what's in it for me? And there was selfish way of looking at things, and this is why we're not gonna get any forceful objections to what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's direly needed, man.
Yeah.
We have to do better. Let's face
Y-
that.
yeah, when I listened to the prime minister commentary about the hospital land, and he said that sort of said it's settled and done.
Right.
It's kind of deafening, and it's kind of like, where how do we let these people understand that even if that is the decision, that's not the approach to take, because
It's an
they are
insult.
supposed to be listening to the people
It's
and the
insulting, man.
concerns of
Yeah,
the people at every level.
yeah, yeah.
At every level.
He said, forget it. We're moving on.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
do you mean
yeah,
you're moving on? There's objections to what you're doing,
yeah, yeah.
and you
And
you 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 have to answer to the people.
Yeah, and what you did may not be completely legal and constitutional because
There
they
are a
didn't get
lot
the
of questions. Yeah.
there
Uh,
and they haven't answered those. They haven't answered those in the slightest. They paraded a group of people in front of us
correct.
in a
Correct.
meeting.
Singing for their supper, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they didn't take seriously or answer any of the question. They glossed over some stuff. They presented some
There are
stuff.
two sides to that, Greg, because many of the questions didn't make any sense. They didn't ask the pertinent questions.
That's
So that
true.
was not a part of that. You know, you would want to see a media that's informed and come with their stats ready, not come with and then
Hmm.
grab the mic and decide what question you want to ask. You
Hmm.
have to ask those questions ready and have facts to support
Yeah.
what you're trying to find out. No, because then we brush it over. Many
Yeah.
times they
Yeah.
ask a question and the answer is irrelevant. That has nothing to do with the question
Yeah.
where they ask.
But
You
they
know?
seem satisfied for the moment. They
Yeah,
seem
yeah.
satisfied.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, like they ask you what I price a martini for going. Oh well, John Wayne. At the end of the day, when the fight, listen, we know not that. How much for
yeah.
going? Simple.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we dance around the mulberry bush and we don't
Mhm.
get anywhere. So I
I
really don't.
I'm hoping that somehow and the problem we face too is that we don't have a legal structure to redress some of these things, um, because there's no funding. We would have thought that the opposition would have been a forum to present some of these issues, but they're in a squabble right now and dire for their very survival at every level. And
Did you
so
say?
and
Did you
so it makes no sense. And our nation is at peril.
did you say squabble? I remember watching a honeymooners episode. I don't know if you ever watched them,
Yeah, I did.
and Norton saying something stupid to Ralph, and Ralph said that's the biggest understatement since Costa looked over the hill and said they're friendly Indians. Don't worry about nothing. That is an understatement. I don't want to squabble and got there. They apparently the chairman and
Hmm.
the current leader
Hmm.
has declared four sitting members.
Yeah.
They all of them elected, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tracy,
Yeah.
um, well,
Father.
not all of them. John Saliva is not elected,
Yeah.
and Beverly
Tracy.
Williams is not elected.
Hmm.
I think I don't know about you though, Greg, but when they parade, when they parade John Saldiva on the screen, I get I wonder why. What? Hi, good evening. You're on. Hi, Donna. Can you hear me, Donna?
We could hear you.
No, she can't hear me.
Donna, you hear?
Not here. I could hear you guys over there.
You not
All
hear
right.
me?
Hello. Test.
Can you hear me, Donna?
Maybe your headphone.
I could hear.
I think her name is Donna.
Donna.
Maybe
Donna.
turn
Yes.
up your
It's Donna Andrews.
Don't tell her
yeah,
now.
turn up the low.
No. All right.
Yeah, they
Uh,
what your mic,
test.
your mic there.
Yeah, I can see you, but I'm not hearing you. She is not muted. You have a microphone there.
Yes.
Um.
Hi. Good
Oh,
evening.
there you go. There you go. You got it. Yeah.
Good evening, Miss Andrews. Welcome.
The technique. How do you pronounce your first name?
Donna.
Donna. All right, you're right, Lisa. She just corrected us. Um, hi, Donna. Welcome to the
Hi.
show.
Mike.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, you are a part of the cast. Who do you represent?
She's from the Park Fest.
From the New
From
York
our
City
Park Fest.
Perfect.
Yes, the NYC Village Park Fest.
All right. Buddy Brown in a part of that.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Certainly. Now, what you got plans for this year? What we go expect from the Park Fest for this year?
Tell C Mike to turn off his camera.
Uh, see why?
Okay.
Yes, I'm not doing that.
Turn off your
Just take your time.
mic.
All right. Let's straighten this out. We're not usually so disorganized. Don't judge me yet. We'll be all right. Um,
You can hear us.
he can't hear us because he has his mic off. All right. He'll get it at some point. So, all right, here we go. No, you just shift from top to bottom. Tell me, what the Park Fest has been going on for how many years? What are the history of the Park Fest?
The Park Fest has been going on for many years, like over 40 years or so. And
Wow,
Buddy Brown did it for like 25 years, and then he paused before the pandemic. So we haven't had the Park Fest for about 5 years. And so Dwayne Gutierrez, he is the director,
uh-huh.
and he decided that he wanted to bring back the Park Fest. So he asked me, he came to me and said he wanted to bring back the Park Fest. And we reached out to Buddy Brown, and Buddy Brown gave him his blessing, and Buddy Brown is his mentor. And so,
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
so that's how we started off the park with the
So
Park
this is
Fest
the
to bring
first
it back.
one. This is the first one coming back then.
Yes, it's a rebirth for like over
Wonderful,
5 years.
wonderful. So this should be big. I saw somebody else on the screen. I'm not getting your name there. Otan, good night. Otan Castillo is telling you good night.
You could talk.
Brittany, unmute your mic for me there. Make us see if we can hear you. Uh, Hi, Brittany.
Talk.
Hi,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I can hear
Oh,
you.
hi, hi, everyone. I'm Brittany.
I still see your mic on mute. I don't know why.
No,
It's on mute because it echoes. I'm right next to Miss Donna.
Okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we're hearing you and Donna's microphone. All right,
Yeah.
Okay.
wonderful. Yeah. So what's planned? I mean, what are some of the activities? And it's gonna be in New York. Is it on Eastern Parkway in the park? Where?
Well, it's gonna be in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, at a venue called Industry City Courtyard. The reason we chose that venue because it's a big venue that a lot of artists use to perform. It has a stage. A lot of vendors are able to have a lot of space to sell their products. So we chose that venue because we thought it would be a great, start.
So 7th of September, which will be um,
Saturday, I think.
this
Saturday.
Saturday.
This coming Saturday.
This
All
Saturday.
right. What are some of the acts that you have planned? What are you have booked some artists? Some people are gonna be there.
Yes, we booked some artists. Some are coming from Belize. The director felt that he wanted to expose and promote the artists, the Belizean artists at home and abroad. So we have artists coming in from LA, we have from Jersey, and we have from New York. And they're American Belizean. They're born here in the US, but they're of Belizean descent. And then we have a few artists coming in from Belize.
Wonderful.
You want to give me a few names, like who they could look for?
No, we're gonna wait. You gotta either come or
Well, we should give the headliner.
well, we have Azadik is coming. He's a headliner.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a couple DJs, Selecta 45, DJ Red Eye, DJ Biggs. Who else?
Yeah, so DJs is DJ Red Eye, as she says, Selector Q45, DJ Smalls from Belize, and some artists. We have Yas Talia coming, Kylon Ely, and we have a Belizean American artist. Her name is Yanni. She's amazing. So we have a couple good lineup so far.
It looks like you're in Kingdom Apparel's new studio. Is that where you are in the studio?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're-
So
Okay.
lot of new things happening this week, man. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. All right. Yeah. Are you gonna renew this now then as a tradition? You're gonna do it again on an annual basis and keep it
Yes.
going?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to do it annually, and it's different now. We are a 501c3, so we're a nonprofit, and all the proceeds will be going to help um,
The ministry,
Belize,
yeah.
the sports or medical education, things of that nature for Belize. So everything. So we're asking that people come out because it's for a good cause. We are in collaboration with the sports ministry, and $5 for every ticket that's being sold. $5 automatically goes towards the sports in Belize.
Wonderful. And I know Buddy Brown has been doing a lot for the kids at Belize. He worked through with my kids a lot. I want to say
Yes,
big thank you. I think
yes,
now, gentlemen, we don't have to get him on an honor one of these days, man, because he does work hard,
yes,
and
he
and and,
does. He
and,
does.
and selflessly, really push
Yes,
himself out there for try to do promotion of himself. But he does promote a lot of events and get a lot of things done, no? Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
far, have you been getting good response? People are coming on board.
Yes, people are calling, asking for direction, asking how to purchase the tickets, asking about
Wonderful.
the stalls for food vendors, because we also are having Belizean vendors, because we want not only for Belizeans to get a taste of the food, but we want other people in New York and the surrounding state like Connecticut, Pennsylvania, whoever can come. So it doesn't matter what country you're from. We want to bring expose our culture and our food to the world.
All right, and Gideon, I was to ask you about that because it seems you're going to have now vendors out there, and you're still accepting application for spaces, right? For
Yes,
people who want to sell food and stuff like that.
yes, we want
Yeah,
a variety. So we're waiting for somebody who can do the boil up.
and
And
the tamales and the garnaches and
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, we
wonderful.
have
Yeah. So, what time? What time are we looking at?
Brittany.
So the time will be from 5 p.m. until midnight.
Okay.
The doors open at 4 p.m.
One.
So basically 4 to midnight.
All right. No sports or anything involved. Just the festing and the party and whatnot, right?
And
Yes.
yeah, and we also have some officials coming from Belize,
Mhm.
so they're going to be there, which we're very happy to welcome them to see what we're doing.
Wonderful, wonderful. How have you been in touch with people in Belize to get support?
Oh
And,
yes, yes, we have. Just to mention a few, we have BTB
okay,
supporter. We have the mayor. We have quite a few supporters from Belize. So we really, really are in awe. We're very excited, and not only that they support, they're coming. So that just give us that good feeling of knowing that they want to come and see what we're doing and what we're all about.
Did you guys also get the diaspora ambassador
Yes,
to?
Brittany,
Yes.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a couple ambassadors attending. From New York, we have
Okay.
Ambassador Carlos Fuller. He's the
Okay.
ambassador for the permanent mission of Belize to the UN.
Okay.
I also help support him. And also we have Ambassador Janine Felsen.
Okay.
From the Belize Embassy in Washington, we have Cinnamon, Miss Cinnamon. She is the Minister Counselor for Ambassador Lin Young. She's
Okay.
coming to support him. We also have the Belize City Council. We have a couple council people coming from Belize.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Good. Good. So you should have a good representation then.
yes.
Yes.
and the relationship between Belizeans at home and the diaspora seems alive and getting ready to take off in a
Yes,
better direction because we have had little differences, but how do you see it in the future? Do you see us building a better relation between
uh,
diaspora and Belize?
the director says he referred, and he said under the shade I flourish, and he said he see in the future under the shade we flourish.
Wonderful.
So we are looking. We are very excited. We have a wonderful team. I don't know. I'm the secretary. Brittany is the assistant secretary. We have a media team. We have a finance team. So we have a really good team working tirelessly and working really hard to make this happen. And so we realized that because of what we stand for as giving back to Belize, we just can't have the Park Fest for this one. And so will have fundraiser throughout the year so that we can
Wonderful.
have money to send to for a good cause.
How does Linden Park now? Is it still used by Belizeans in
Oh
New York?
yes, yes. It's still just Sunday. They had maybe about,
Football.
I would say,
Yeah.
400 people were out there. You know, the vendors are still out there selling the Belize food. We have the Central American countries, Guatemala, Honduras. They're
Yeah.
all out there selling. So it's very much alive.
Yeah. They
Wonderful.
always used to have soccer matches out there
Yes,
when
yes.
I
They
lived
still
in
do
there.
that as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been big enough for what you have planned for this, huh? Because it seems this venue that you've chosen is a bit bigger, correct?
Yes, yes, it is. It's very
yes.
big.
But but it's in Brooklyn also. You say what part of Brooklyn again?
Sunset Park. So
Sunset Park.
yes.
What trains run out there? How do you get out there by public transportation?
So by public transportation, I know you could get the R train, you could get the C train, and a few other trains. I don't have in front of me, but
Right,
I am working on sharing it on our social media,
right.
so that everybody is aware on how to commute there. So you could do it by train, you could drive, there's parking. So there's different ways to transport to the Park Fest.
And we can to add, we can you can also get there by ferry.
Yes.
So by river.
Get there how you can. Yeah. Uh,
And for those who want to come from Belize, you come by plane.
Yes.
I would hope so, 'cause by road and then get there in time. Then
Mhm.
this Saturday, yeah. Um, well, obviously the September celebrations are in full swing in the US also as it is in Belize, no?
Yes, yes. There's other activities happening. We have there's a boat ride going on Independence Day. They have a ex-servicemen leave have a dance. They also do fundraising, and then we have
Did they
um,
choose a Queen of the Bay this year for the New York?
no, they didn't this year.
Okay.
So we're working in. I sometimes I help find contestants for them. So
If
I
you
have.
want, you go get the one that they dethroned here in Belize. We got an extra one. We we didn't crown two this year, but we had one that was dethroned and a new one.
Yeah.
But yeah, well
Yeah,
that a big part of it also.
and we also have a mass, Independence Mass, which is going to be live stream. That is for the independence. So that happens every year also. So there's a lot of different activities going on. And so when you go to these events, they also have this, they play the 10th of September song, and you bring your flag and you march around.
A Bell's March it is called. Na, 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 na. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, Very familiar. Let's welcome Joe to the show. Joe Coe is a regular member of the panel. Joe, how you go? You can hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I was a bit late
Uh,
in.
all
Good
right,
evening. Good
No
evening.
problem.
the
Yeah.
two ladies are from the New York Park Fest, and they're gearing up for their celebration of September. In Belize, I don't know if I can. I said it's picking off in with gusto. I think we're more distracted with the craziness in the UDP and all the other stuff. No, they're not like what you might have remembered. Where I remember one time you start like the end of August, and there's every night there's something on the MCC, Battle of the Bands,
Hmm.
Queen of the Bay, other Voice of the Bay. I don't see it like that anymore. And in fact, I don't know if they're more, and this might be Joe's party's doing, gearing more towards the September 21st. As opposed, how do you ladies feel about September 10th? Should we keep that celebration alive?
I think that we should, because that's part of our history. And the Queen of the Bay is, one of the main um, event that happens that, is in sync with the 10th of September. So I really think that we should keep it.
Do you believe, Donna, that the 10th of September that something happened? There was a battle at St. George's Key,
That's what we were. Yes, that's what we're told.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, I think they want tale of courage, and that we should, and every nation needs these tales of courage. And if it not happen, we have to make it happen, or celebrate it as if it happened, so that the young people can have a spirit of pride,
Yes.
and feel good about themselves. Which certainly, I feel like Vote Day, which was June 1st, should be celebrated, and I would have been in favor of celebrating that instead of Emancipation Day. But that, of course, is another story, no. But I am a believer also. I do believe that the Battle of St. George's Key was a reality. Something did happen, and we are still here as a result, no.
Yes, correct.
So yeah.
Well, I
Uh,
can recall, Mr. Chairman,
so
just to disabuse any minds that may have been abused by the subtle remarks made by the Honorable Chairman.
uh,
When I was the mayor of Belize City some years ago, of course, I was elected UP mayor. But I felt that on the 10th, the mayor had to give an address. And I thought of something that I thought would have been able to bring us together. So I said to them from the outset that let us celebrate the 10th as the day when the nation was conceived. And then the 21st is the day when the nation was born. And I think that was a standing ovation. And I think that brought us together at least on that day. Well, we cannot dismiss the Battle of St. George's Key, even if it's a David Crockett idea. The point is that something happened. And it is already ingrained in the DNA of us. So to me, let's celebrate both.
Wonderful. I agree with you. 11 days of incubation. Maybe we should concentrate our celebrations in those 11 days from the 10th to the 21st. And then just, I mean, we usually celebrate the whole month of September. September is, of course, celebration month. But I think maybe we should condense it a bit, no? And
That's right.
concentrate in that day so that it's less expensive. It takes away less from the business of the nation, no? And the other stuff. But it still gives us a time to take a break and feel good about ourselves, which we should. Yeah. Um, Lisa, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right. Um, so, all right. Anyway, listen, ladies, we want thank you guys. We got a few more guests for the show night. We wish you the best of luck. Is there anything else we need to know about what is going on um Saturday? Is there any part of it that you'd like to highlight? Any appeal you want to send out to the people out there, what they should or should not do when they come to the Park Fest?
Well, I do want to mention that we have a couple raffles that will be going on. Ms. Donna, do you want to talk about some of the raffles?
So we received donation from Coca Plum, and so that will be a raffle. So for those, you have your mic on. You have your mic on.
No, we're hearing you. We're hearing Coco Plum. Coco Plum is what?
It's a resort. It's a
Down in
resort.
Placencia, right, Joe?
Yeah, Coco Plum,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they donate a 2 nights 3 day stay.
Okay.
So if you purchase a ticket, you automatically enter into the raffle. So you don't have to physically purchase a raffle ticket. You automatically. So
Once you enter the grounds, you're talking about, right?
no. Once you purchase your ticket, all the tickets are online.
Oh, I see.
So,
Okay.
so we encourage everyone to get their tickets online, and you automatically are being entered into the raffle. And then we have other raffles that are being donated to us, and we also are encouraging people to bring their children. And so we have a little something we want to give to them, their own personal stuff. We're not going to say what it is. They have to come. And so we encourage the parents to bring their children, because that's one of the things that Dwayne said. He said, I remember when I was little and I used to go to the Park Fest and I miss it. That's what he said. And so that's why he was like, we need to bring it back. We need he has children and he wants his children to know more and let everybody else children to learn so that we don't forget where we came from.
And there are things in the park that the children can play on, a little amusement area that has toys and stuff, swings and things, I
There,
believe.
there's no place. There's a little area for them to play, but we have activities for them planned.
Wonderful. And can anybody buy the ticket? Can I win from Belize if I do I have to be at the park fest or
You
in?
have to be in person at the Park Fest.
So I can buy online, but I can't win online. That's son. I we
Yeah,
have to look for that.
because there's a limit. So
You
if
can't
you
take home those big balloons from online, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, then try it, Greg. Then try it. If I can buy it online, I should be able to win. Because then you just announce the winner who online, and then
But
I
when
mean,
the winner comes, you want when you say there's the winner. Most of the time, when you have a raffle, the person has to be there, and then you present the gift to them. That's how they
oh,
usually do raffles. Yes. So
okay.
what you do, G Mike, is just hop on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a quick
We
question,
are.
ladies. I'm getting some texts, on my phone regarding the Park Fest, and two of the questions that have come up is, are there any family ticket purchases as far as there a group, a group ticket for families?
And we don't have a group per se. We just have the individual ticket, and then the children are $10.
No group rate. If you got 10
No
people
group
going
rate.
in, you buy 10
Then
ticket. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear. But man, I'm fundraiser,
Yes, that's
So
why we're just going to say
you
that
want
we have to
it,
focus on it is a
yeah.
fundraiser.
So
Yeah.
So
Tell them it's Disneyland. Disneyland only have group rate if you have more than 100.
right, bring 101 come in free. Eh, we could work with that. Yeah, but that one, I think an excellent initiative. I'm glad you ladies decided to step up and bring it back, no,
yes,
into it because things like this bring people together, and we need it.
yes,
I always felt that there are two things integral to human great growth, and one is socializing, hanging out with one another, and the next are competing, no.
yes.
So I imagine that will come in as far as the tickets are concerned, because everybody will be competing for that. Coco Plum, I've heard good things about them. I know Stuart Crone actually personally, so I'm sure that will be a good prize for anybody to win.
Right. So
All right.
Brittany, what's your role? What's your role in preparing this Park Fest?
Well, the biggest role I played is, getting content out on social media. I helped Miss Donna with the admin, sending out emails,
Okay.
making sure we have a guest list. So any admin stuff and social media stuff, that's me.
Okay, great, great, great.
Yeah. You're a Belizean, Brittany, right?
Yes, my family's Belizean. I was born here in America, but my family's Belizean.
But Hazelwood would be
Wonderful.
your married name, I imagine. Yeah.
Actually, my father is Guyanese, so I am half Belizean and half Guyanese.
Ah, okay,
and
okay.
he's in the house.
Yes.
All right. Wonderful. Yeah, man. Well, ladies, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We wish you the best of luck. Maybe you come back on and tell us how it went after the event, no?
We sure
Give
will.
I
give
just
Buddy Brown
want
our regards
to,
and take care of Buddy Brown, please.
Yeah.
uh,
Could you
Yes,
just go
we
ahead
do.
and repeat it again to
Say, say,
us, the
say,
events?
Say that again.
I'm
No,
sorry.
particulars of the event.
just repeat it again. The
Uh,
inviting the
Oh, so just repeat like the date, right? The date, the
yes, the
time.
date
So
and yeah,
it's gonna
exactly.
be this Saturday, September 7th at Industry Courtyard, and it's gonna be in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. You could get transportation on the train. There is parking. We will be sharing on our socials a more detailed on how you could commute there. I also want to mention that we are planning on live streaming our artist performance on our socials.
Perfect.
Wonderful. So we can partake even from Belize and be able to log on
Yeah.
and
Do you
see what
have
is going on.
do you have your website that you want to
Yeah, I
share
was
with
just
us at
gonna
this point?
say, yes, our website is www.nycbzeparkfest.org. So when you go on the website, it will give you information and also how to purchase your tickets.
Would you repeat that website
Sure, it's
address again?
www.nyc, that's New York City, bzeparkfest.org.
Thank
All
you very
right, that
much.
NYC, that NYCBZE Park Fest is one word, correct?
Yes,
All right. All right. www.nycbzeparkfest.
.org, correct.
Doctor. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you.
And the
One.
tickets are on Eventbrite.
And the tickets are how much?
On Eventbrite, they
Eventbrite.
they're $35.
Yeah.
Okay, for adults and 10 for children, you said?
Children,
Yeah.
12 and
All
under.
right. And you're inviting people, encouraging them to bring their children out
Yes,
and they build some good memories.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
much?
exactly.
How much? Do you have any idea what you're expecting in terms of attendance at this event?
So we're expecting over 500 people.
Okay.
We're hoping for more.
Yes.
We tend to wait last minute to do
Okay.
things. So we're expecting that we're ready for people who are late, and so people who come at the gate, we are ready to provide
Accommodate,
service
yeah.
for them. Yes,
And you
I
said it starts at 5 until 12 midnight, right?
4 p.m. to midnight.
From 4 p.m. to midnight. Okay.
I hope you get 5,000 because
Yeah, at least
people should come up.
at least 1,000. At
Yeah,
least a
yeah,
thousand.
yeah.
Yes, we're hoping.
You're gonna have to if you're gonna make any money, you'll have to have some people.
Yeah, we're
So
hoping for 1,000. So everybody just come out, and I said that because it's a fundraiser. If you can't, like you said, G Mike, you wanted to get enter into the raffle, but
right.
if you find it in your heart, you could also donate. You
Okay.
know, there's a don't. We have a link to donate. So for people who
Okay.
can, like they're wherever part of the world, they can donate because it's for all of us. It's not just for one, not for
I'm
the park first or the people.
And
It's
and you said that a portion of the money goes to the sporting activities in
the
Belize.
for now the tickets. Every tickets we sell, $5 go towards the sports automatically.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
and once you get to this website, it'll give you a link as to where you can donate this and so forth. No.
There's a
Actually, the donation link
Uh-huh.
is on our Linktree website. That is in our bio page on our Instagram. We are working on putting it on our actual website, but right now it could be accessed on the Linktree link on our bio in our Instagram page.
Okay.
and you
All
could
right.
you could find it on Facebook or social media. The link.
The Linktree, yes.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
we also have that you can follow us. You can go on the website and you sign up. So whatever is happening, whatever is going on, like I said, we're not going to just stop at the Park Fest. We're going to have things continuous to raise funds. We can also solicit and go to organization to help us to get money or to sponsor or support let's say the kids needs sporting supplies, their clothes, whatever. We can always reach out to companies and sports athletes and let them help us.
Okay. Well,
All
thank
right.
you very much for joining us.
Thank you
I,
so much for having us.
I want to take this opportunity to invite everybody to please support this. I am to know that Buddy Brown is legit, a wonderful fellow. He does a lot of good community work. And ladies, I'm pleased to meet you and good luck on your venture.
Thank you
Thank
Donna,
so
you.
much. Thank you
Donna
guys.
and Brittany, have a good evening.
Have a
You
You
good evening.
too.
too.
Thank you
Bye
guys.
bye.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
talk Parkfest.
Good night, ladies, and thank you again for
Good night.
joining us.
All right, guys, on to the CCY New Studio. The man really doing a thing. No,
What did we do to Mr. Colley? I lost him.
he gone.
I,
I don't know. He maybe bail out. I didn't chase him. Yeah, there you go. Well, no.
No,
Oh, see
he
why
may
they
be
mess with
having
it. See
he
why
may
they
be
mess with the
having connection
cameraman. Joe, you still
problems.
there?
okay.
Yeah, I'm right
Okay.
here.
All right. I think Joe, the UDP expelled 4 members. What going on? Where they
Well,
going that party, man? Boy,
why
Greg is looking bad, boy.
I asked Mr. Morrison, knowing that he happens to
Yeah, he got all the inside knowledge about where they going, right?
okay, the
I
absolute
wish I did.
Can he do it,
cause
Greg? Can the chairman and leader do that?
You know,
I have
I don't suspect that they could. I don't think it's within their purview to expel people. It takes a committee. It doesn't take two individuals to expel you
But
from a
you're the talk about the
party.
leader. You're the talk about the leader
It
and the chairman.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
How
I don't
how
think
you
it's
see it,
that
Joe?
easy.
What do you think?
I am not that familiar with the Constitution, but given
Right.
my understanding of the PUP Constitution, which I believe they might kind of mimic each other,
Yeah, pretty much.
is that to remove a member from the party, there has to be some offense. And the offense must be such that it is obnoxious and undermining the party in itself. Now, in most of these cases, when that when there is when you have reason to believe, if the executive have reason to believe that there is a violation of the Constitution, there is a procedure you go through
Yeah.
under the what you call the natural justice procedure, and then they will have to put forward the reason why. You must show the reason why you should not be suspended or expelled from the party. But from what I am gathering, it seems, according to those that were expelled by the party leader or the executive, they are accusing the party leader, along with the chairman, of being arbitrary and high-handed in removing them from membership, not in accordance with the Constitution.
Hmm.
They seem to have formed a new party of their own, though.
Well,
This alliance for democracy, or what they're calling it.
again, they are saying, from what I gather, that it's not a party they are forming.
Yeah.
It's a group within the party,
Concern. Yeah. A
Yeah, yeah.
concern.
but it's not a political party as such.
It's a hell of a mess, I tell you that.
So it is.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
chairman pointed to what happened in 1993, I believe, when Philip Golson had splintered away and taken
NBR.
some people with him, and then he's saying that he's confident that something like that could happen, that they could still come back and win. What do you think?
Well, what happened in the case with Golson? Golson did not support the Maritime Areas Act.
Hmm.
But what gave rise to the Maritime Areas Act is a meeting that Esquivel, Dean Barrow, Mr. Price, of course, the PUP and the UDP attended.
Hmm.
And at that meeting, the then president of Guatemala had given them an assurance that his interest was to drop the claim. But
Tricked us.
no, it was not a trick. It was
And
not.
then because he did
No,
go and he recognized
no,
or
the
detected.
president did. The president did. But
Just allow me to finish, and then when I finish, then you could,
okay.
refute what I say. I know
Okay.
about it. I was present in the sense of what happened. Now they went to and they had this meeting, and the president was sincere to my knowledge, and they agreed that to show good faith on our side, we will go for the Maritime Areas Act. I was a party to those who were promoting the Maritime Areas Act. But then this faction within the UDP, led by Golson and I think Hubert Ellington and I think Derek Hickman was in it, they
Hmm.
decided that they will oppose it. The Maritime Areas Act became a reality by law. Unfortunately, the people in Guatemala, those in the elite, the oligarchy of Guatemala, did not support the president's decision. And the
Hmm.
president himself was removed.
Yes. Yes.
So he never did get a chance. But I tell
No,
you that,
no, but Joe, he did recognize
Yes.
Belize's independence, and it went before the court in Guatemala, who confirmed that yes, he had the right to do it. So I'm saying though, and I have long felt that we are taking too hard a line with this, not a blade of grass, not a drop of water. I think for the sake of peace, we might need to consider maybe some kind of, even if we say, well, all right, boy, the Sarstoon and split the Sarstoon in two, or we'll make the Sarstoon on no man's land and everybody got access to it. everybody could use the river. I don't know that we have the position, the fortitude, and to stand on any firm and not a ounce not a drop of water kind of
Well, we could
stand.
get a glass of water out of the Sarstoon.
Yeah, but before we go to that, why don't we just maybe complete what we were saying before? Is that there was a remark that said made by the chairman of the UDP or someone in the upper rank of the UDP, that as if though were worse than that had happened and they were able to overcome it. That was the purpose of saying that.
Correct.
The thing about it, that when the election was called, Golson ran independent under the same party that they had formed,
NABR.
and then they won seat. And then they formed the coalition, and that's how they formed the government at the time.
Okay, so they're not like they had come together as the UDP and run as UDP. They ran as two separate parties.
Yeah, but they got a candidate. I think they won about 1 or 2 seats, and they with the coalition. That's how they had formed the government. That's my recollection. So to
That's
me,
exactly so.
What he was saying is that we have weathered worse than this, and therefore we can still come back. That's what the point he was making.
Is it factual?
Yeah,
but I wouldn't know if it's factual, but it's
God, that wasn't worse than this. I don't think this is bad.
To me,
this is worse. This is worse.
What is factual? You asked me if it is factual, and I think you meant that whether this is worse than what had happened before.
Correct.
No, I wouldn't want to make that judgment if it is worse, because that's an internal party matter.
Joe, but you can have an opinion, man. Be braver than that.
No, my opinion, if you ask me, boy, do you believe that this is worse than what happened then?
Well, that's basically what I asked you.
I think it is, because in that Golson was a mature statesman. I don't see the same level of maturity in what's going on at this point. So that concerns me a lot.
Yeah, Arthur is clearing something up for you, Joe. He said the UDP constitution has no allowance for an alliance or a second party.
It has
Therefore,
happened before.
the Alliance for Democracy is not covered in the UDP party constitution.
It might not, but it happened with NABR before.
I think I have to differ with Aton here, if I am understanding what they said. It was Tracy Pantan, who made it clear, to my knowledge, that the Alliance for Democracy is not a political party.
Yes.
It's like how you had the G7 then in the PUP. The G7 was not a party separate from the PUP. So what she was saying, from my understanding, is that the Alliance for Democracy, evidently, if they had formed another party, then they have no right to be in the UDP. They should put out how you want to have another party and still want to belong to this party.
Yeah.
But they are saying that it was no intention to form another political party. It was a group within to bring democracy to the party.
But this is so crazy. It seemed for a while that they were trying to bring it together when, seeming to extend an olive branch, the breakaway four decided, well, you know what, we don't go forward with what we're planning for though. We don't want to sit down and talk about it. And it seemed like the chairman and Shine came up and said, no. We don't have to go.
Again, remember, from what I'm giving you now as I heard it, Reverend Goff had agreed to be a mediator. And there was mediation. And it seems that he himself could not make any headway. It became so impossible. And
he threw up your hand and walk out of the room.
Right. So to me, they are in a very serious position, because indeed, you have to look for a way how you can bring them together. I think that, now, let me give you my judgment, or my political judgment and opinion. For me, a leader should not allow or support any such move for people who are already incumbents. They are members of the House, two of them. In other words, I will give you the parallel now. When 3 members of the UDP, the PUP, submitted a resignation, and those 3 members were Hunter, Briseño, and Sylvester. The morning when the resignation was being taken up by German, the guy German used to drive his Sylvester. I met with him. And he said, boy, I'm taking this resignation to the party leader, to the prime minister today. And he took the resignation. I had the opportunity to consult and to talk with the prime minister. My suggestion to him, as a prime minister, do not accept this resignation.
Mhm.
You need to find a way to resolve it. He said, I agree. So what he did, and he admitted, he said, listen, man, he said, these three people have won their seats. And he believed that they can win again. So he was looking at why we need the three votes, and I agree with him. It's true that they may have said things and done things that offended the party. But to show you the difference, though, with the talk about leadership, Mr. Price never accepted resignations. He found a way to find an answer to the problem, and he solved it. I would have thought that in this situation, I would be very reluctant to dismiss and remove those four people from the party. If
Yeah.
I tell
And
you one thing.
that's why I said there's a little bit of high-mindedness in this, and that's where I see a lack of political maturity on the part, and that's what's concerning. But in this case, there's I believe the party leader feel personal attack, and all the attack is geared towards him. So I could understand some of his hesitation and animosity with all that's going on.
What is happening here, though, without doubt, disservice to the people of Belize. The
Most
people,
definitely.
and it's unconstitutional because the constitution does demand that there be an opposition. There should be an opposition. We're hoping a viable opposition, one that could stand ready in the event that they have to take over. Should the government follow the grace, no, and something happen. But right now, we're giving almost absolute power to the People's United Party, which is never a good thing.
And
well,
the business that the people are not being looked at, and particularly as we look at this university,
6.9 million.
$6.9 million, that nobody is addressing it from a legal perspective, which needs to be done.
Will it
It
blow
needs,
over, Joe? Will this blow over? This 6.9 million.
well, before it blows over, I want to make my position clear again
Then
because
when you use your remember, be careful of what anything you say
no,
may and can be used against you.
no, it was because of what I said at this very show that became an article. They contributed then to the evening news. In fact, it came out first in breaking news. They did a tape of me of what I said on this show. So I can summarize for you what I said and what I intended to say and what I put in my words.
And you still mean it.
Yes, I felt and I still feel now that the government of the day had an obligation. In other words, there were two hurdles they had to cross. And I made that known to the press in a separate interview, which they came up with, that there were two hurdles for the government to cross. One, he had to satisfy the people as to why the the hospital could not have been built on government property at UB. The second hurdle, if they were able to cross that first hurdle, the second hurdle, and that's the hurdle to me that the press did not take up, but there was a second hurdle that if they could justify the reason why they must relocate it to somewhere else, but because there was no public land to relocate it to, then it means they had to procure property. And property has a meaning very broad under the Finance and Land Reform Act. If you are doing procurement, there are three methods you have to follow. You have the open, you have the selective, and you have the limited. Now you must follow those once you are procuring property. It could be vehicles, it could be land, it could be anything. That are under the Finance and Land Reform Act. So once you are doing that, then the next question is the government have to satisfy the people whether in fact he acquired the land in accordance with the Finance and Land Reform Act, and if he didn't, why? Now those are the two hurdles I try to get over. I took note that Mr. Gregory picked up on it, and I think he made some very good questions that he put, I think, on, what was it, on Facebook, Gregory? I think it was you. Hello?
Gregory gone, it looked like. We,
You look like
I know.
Sorry. No, I
Mr.
said I also sent. I picked up on it on Facebook, and I also sent the email to the Auditor General's office.
And the reason why I try to clarify my position with the press here in Belize is because I don't want to be making any accusations against any government unless I believe I have the facts. No, if I have reason to believe that you were imprudent, meaning you were not as prudent as you should have been, but you didn't violate the law, then I cannot accuse you of a violation of the law. I can say, boy, you're failing your prudent management.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming back to clearing a position that whosoever party we belong to, whether it's PUP or UDP, I completed my remarks and I will finish it here, that we have to be very cautious in terms of our allegiance to those principles that define the purpose of these political parties. Because what could be happening, we might be shifting the purpose to the purpose of the need for the party rather than the need for the country which the party is to serve. So the allegiance to the principles that define these two political parties, and the two of them, the PUP and the UDP, have distinguished their service to this country. There is no doubt about that. The PUP have done a good for this country, and the UDP, well, given the genesis of it, from the NIP right up, they too have served this country well. So two political parties have done well. Ask yourselves now, if those principles that define the purpose of these two political parties are in fact the principles that we are still abiding by in those political parties.
I asked you a question and your answer wasn't clear. I asked you if we can blow over like one leaf breeze. You said before it blew over something as if to suggest that it will blow over once you pass, your words, one of them hurdles we're going to talk about. Will this blow over? Can we keep this alive? Can we hold the government to is there any avenue available to us?
Well, let me answer that question for you based on the reality and the facts. Those words were used by the then Prime Minister at a meeting in Ladyville. And I think he made a serious error in making that statement at a public restroom, that this will blow over like a little breeze, because it didn't blow over like a little breeze.
Yeah.
And it did blow over because there was indeed some of us in the party, in the government at the time, who felt that we had to address the problems of the public funds and will not allow it to blow over. So the question now, if it will blow over, it will be up to us, the citizens and members in the government, to decide whether they wanted to blow over or not. Mm-hmm. And that's the answer. That's the only
and the activation of the people, the activism of the people, that will determine whether the government have to reconsider its position and whether it will in fact blow over. So far, the instrument that we'd expect to be gearing up to kind of address it particularly on the political and legal aspect, is the opposition party, but they're in disarray. So we cannot rely
on them.
That,
yeah.
Well, let me show you something that the people succeeded in. It was not the opposition party in this country that initiated the move, whether it was just out of their political instinct that something was wrong, or whether it was their legal knowledge. That move was started maybe by one land activist like Petio.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not the UDP that started it.
Right.
Then it was a research done by the press. So the point to be made, which is very important to me, is that when the people, even if it was only 100 of them, went out to demonstrate, the government responded. And he called a press conference. So to show you that at least the government was responding to the call of the people, we've asked the question now. Are we satisfied with the explanation given at the press conference to say why they had to relocate it? Because there was a press conference.
Yes.
I was somewhat disappointed in the press, I could say this. I thought that they have been maybe looking at some more serious, some questions that they should have been prepared to be able to answer.
Yeah.
But here was a press conference. You had technical people there. You had the Minister of Health himself there. You had a technical person from within the ministerial land. You had within health. You had from I forgot the other two persons.
They had the
No,
commissioner of lands, and they had the person
the
responsible for the
commissioner and
water, for the water treatment plant,
right.
the
So you
sewer treatment plant.
had the
Yeah.
lady there from health,
Yes, the nurse.
the nurse. So you had these people there who came to show why is it that they had to relocate. No. What we get carried away with, to me, the press now, is that the press never bothered to go on beyond. The press tried to show what, in fact, the press did not even question them whether in fact.
They asked two questions, and they were poorly structured, and the answers were poorly given.
So therefore, if we were to go by the performance at the press conference, the government accounted for what it did. If you go by how the press treated it. So a lot will depend on objective, dispassionate thinking by we the citizens. Whether you're a PUP or UDP, you have an obligation to indeed be the watchdog to hold any government accountable to we the citizens. That's our obligation as citizens.
All right. Anything else on that one? We can move on. Joe, there was an
Move on.
you move on. Now, Johnny said no. There was an incident on the Sarstoon. What should we do? What can we do? What do you think should happen?
I listened to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Fonseca, and I believe that there was some good merits to what the minister said. He said that the matter has been taken up. He said, and he did it through the diplomatic channels, because we have this arrangement with the OAS that when there is such violations, we are to seek to remedy through them.
Involve them, yeah.
So I think the minister gave a very good account of what he thinks, the way we are to handle it. Now, on the other hand, and again, I'm not calling any names, but sometimes we have to ask ourselves too, those of us who go to that island, is it that we are going there to intimidate them? Is it that we are going there to prove that it belongs to us? If it is going there to prove that it belongs to us, then we need not go because we will wait for the judgment at the International Court of Justice. But while they violate our rights by going there, and that's what the foreign minister said, and I agree with the foreign minister, he said we have the right to go. But don't go there just to show them we have the right, because we have a case in process before the court. So my point is that the question to me,
I think that's a political excuse. I think I hear what the foreign minister said. I believe if we have the right to go, we should go. And
why?
Because
the matter
it is
is
all
in
right.
court.
Because it is all right.
Yeah,
Because because by not going and by not showing your activism on it, it could cause people in the court to come to other decisions.
But you have it before the court. You kind of like the talk about on squatters' right. If you not challenge it, yeah, that person will get squatters' right. But we are challenging it. We have it before the court. We need to wait until the court. Suppose we go out there and
very good point.
Suppose we go out there and somebody, one of the Guatemalan soldiers get hurt. And then they turn around and blame.
We weren't doing anything to hurt them.
That is true. Hold on, that is true. But they can say otherwise. They can then use that as an excuse. Wars have been started over foolishness like that.
I know.
So that is what I am looking at. Something like that happens, and they come up with that. They can use that as an excuse to aggress us.
I think if you own something, you should vigorously defend it.
And how?
You have that right.
Yeah, but Mr. Morrison, you are making a statement in a very general sense, and I agree with you. But what the chairman is saying, and I can tell you of a case exactly now before the court, just like what the chairman said, and I support what he's saying. The case is simply over an island. You have to be an island. Where two parties have a contention. The party that believed he had the right because he was in fact operating the island. Now the dispute is on. The lawyer advised them not to go on the island. Stay off it because it's before the court. Let's try to set it before the court. Then we'll decide what next. So I think that the suggestion that the chairman made, I fully support it. That
I think it kind of gives us a little bit of fervor and stimulation to be out there aggressively, or not necessarily aggressive, but showing that we have this right. And I don't think we should deter from it.
But we've done it. We've gone there. We've done it.
And we should be able to go every time. And they shouldn't be bumping our craft in the water.
Yeah, but
I have a question though, gentlemen.
And go ahead.
My whole thing is I understand why the locals or whatever the group is called is why they go and why I understand all of that. But where I have concerns is how is it that we never seem to see our uniformed men patrolling the area even when our locals are out
for the
there?
same reason. They don't want to have a face-off with the Guatemalan.
But they're patrolling just the same way the Guatemalans do patrolling. Why can't we patrol in the same manner of safety?
Lisa,
I think they do. I think they do travel there. But I don't I wouldn't want them to be there when our both citizens are there, because I don't want it to be a contest. Either they have to tell us to move away, or they are caught in between the Guatemalan military.
Not only that, you have some hotheads in that group that might do something because they think they have people behind them and put our soldiers in harm's way. Do you know how many people Guatemala has? 18 million.
Yeah.
They have an army.
And half of them are in Belize already.
Half of them in Belize already. Let's look at that. So are we then gonna pick a fight with this country, or are we gonna try to resolve this diplomatically? Which is the better way for us?
We need to resolve it peacefully. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice at all in coming to a resolution. And we have gone to the International Court of Justice, and we have to hope that they will, in fact, have a ruling shortly. I think it's less than a year and a half now that they have to come back with the. Belize already made its first presentation. Guatemala, I think, is supposed to make its second presentation, and then they're going to make a ruling. I think that's where it is right now. And I'm hoping that they rule in our favor. I am doubtful, because I always see that, with nothing, with no, that we remain totally intact. Because I always see these courts as compromising courts.
Are you really? Have you seen the verdicts at these court down the line?
We've seen the verdicts.
And you think they've been compromised?
I
compromising?
I think they always will decide to try and split the baby. I don't think so.
I'm hoping
not.
I think the chairman asked a question. Yes. How many of these cases have you read?
I've read many of them. I've read many of them, and I know.
Which one of them you read where you believe that the court did not give a fair judgment?
I didn't say, but it's not. In many instances, this is not about fairness. I said what they do. They present a compromise situation, and a compromise
could that wouldn't be fair.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
No.
Because a compromise. Listen to me.
Is it right or wrong?
No. A compromise could be that they'll say, like you were saying, okay, you get Sarstoon and Belize keeps the rest of its territory, or you get the what's that boundary we had created between Belize and Guatemala?
Adjacency zone.
You get that portion of the adjacency zone that encroach that Belize gave.
Mr. Morrison,
Belize no gave none.
I think you are making a very serious mistake. The court is not there to compromise. That would have been through a consent order.
It wouldn't be justice. That would not be justice then compromise.
Right. The court is not there to compromise.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
Yeah,
That's what they do.
No, man, you discredit.
No, the court is not there to compromise. The compromise have to come from the two convicting parties.
What I see this court does is they split the baby and they walk away from it.
I read several of those judgments, and
I don't think
how they split any baby. They can't. The court. Look at the case here, Mr. Let's look at this case one more time. the consent order, as an example, went before the Caribbean Court of Justice. But when it got there, the two parties compromised. And out of that came the consent order. Now, when the consent order came, all the court could have done then was to enforce the consent order because it was an
Right.
agreement between the two parties. That was a
Yeah.
compromise.
Okay.
But you could
Well,
have gone that it took
it's only
if
going to be a year and a half more.
if the two countries were to agree right now and said, listen, let's make a compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at where we delimit the waters by Ranguana entrance.
Mm-hmm.
We want to bring it down a little more to allow Guatemala a safe outlet from the east side.
We already did that, right?
Hold on, you know why they tell you that? Because that is exactly what the Maritime Areas Act was to do.
Exactly.
Guatemala was asking the then president for a compromise.
Mm-hmm.
And we agreed that we are compromised by delimiting what was our rights under international law.
And that's what the court is going to accept, where Belize have already lost those rights.
No. The court will accept it if we agree to it. Just like
I don't. Yeah.
Sam, I hear you agreeing with Gregory and that you believe the court will satisfy both countries. And I don't think so at all. That is not their job. And again, Sam, I hear you saying that Belize are cowards. You want us to go fight Guatemala, sir? Is that what you're suggesting? Are we then going to start arming our people? Are we going to start piling weapons? Because we'll have to fight them with something. And at the end of the day, you are absolutely right. There's some cowardice there, but it has nothing to do with the people that are suggesting let us do this in a more reasonable way. That not where the cowardice there. Cowardice that you first shot fire, lot of man will run where the talk about stand up and fight. And we know that for a fact. That no question. So
I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight because it's not a fight we could win.
We can't win that.
It's not a fight.
But gentlemen, again, from let's say from my point of view, why do we have men in uniform? If this is a constant problem with our citizens going there, then then the government should say to the group of people, let's not go there, and we will invest in having more men in uniform patrol the area, and that will also signify that we are present in the area, and it will dissolve some of these interactions with locals and Guatemala men in uniform. I think if we have men in uniform, we need to let them do their jobs at some point.
What job would that be, Lisa?
Yeah.
Patrol. If they're there to
I don't think the government have I don't think the government have the money to do the regular
but they
patrol
do patrol.
that they do.
We
They do
have
it once every 2 weeks.
We have a forward operating base out there. We have never seen the Guatemalans come by and try to burn it down or destroy it or anything like that.
Exactly.
Let's be real. So it seems like we are the aggressors here, and we not got nothing to fight with.
No, we're not the aggressors. Come on now.
Why are we going out there?
Because it is our territory. That's why we're going out there.
I don't think we are aggressors.
We're not aggressors.
If we circle the Sarstoon River, the Sarstoon Island, you do know that the river runs at its deepest point, right? That the border, the boundary is at the deepest point. So
they claim that they're always on the side of the area that's Belize territory.
Did you see the video when the boat supposedly rammed into our boat? You saw that?
Yes,
did you see that as a ramming?
Yeah, I saw it as a provocation. It was not ramming.
I saw the boat's touch, and I saw the guy with the trying to
push
hold
us back.
Push it away.
No, he tried to push us back. Try to push us.
Wasn't he trying to prevent the collision with the boats?
No, I don't think so. I think he made the boat hit
yeah,
each other. We understand that kind of behavior. That's bullying. We understand that, and I think we need to make sure that that kind of stuff doesn't happen. And as the foreign minister said, he'll make a report.
That's right.
To the OAS and to the Guatemalan embassy and so forth, and that's the best you could do. That's the best you can do on that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And that is why I mean, just try to know, see if we could bring what we thought we were discussing to a better clarity. To me, they went out there. They had a right to go there. So I don't think anybody will dispute that they don't have the right. But now something happened when they went there. And when something happened, the government was not silent. The government acted on it and reported it through the diplomatic channels that they agreed to do it with. So the government was right in what it did. Those people who went out there was right in what they did. The only thing now that they are being cautioned to be careful how they go out there, because if they are going out there only to prove the point that this place belongs to them, it's not necessary to have to do that now.
Discretion is the better part of valor.
That's right. It's not coward. It's being matured. No, this is the
being discreet.
Being
discreet. Yeah.
Having assertiveness is important and key in this situation. Basically,
I agree. We do need to stand up and
be assertive.
But I agree with you. We should be asserting ourselves, and that's exactly what we did. But asserting yourselves don't mean that we go there prepared with civilians to fight them.
No. We had nothing.
The government took up the position to report under the agreement they have with the OAS and Guatemala and Belize that the Guatemalans violated our territorial integrity. So that is a matter that gone before them through the proper channels.
Yeah.
Evidently, matters like these very well, when it comes down to the oral argument, may very well be used in the court, and against Guatemala it will go. Not against us, because we had an agreement with Guatemala that we'll use the OS as the mediator to channel the differences through. The Prime Minister, I believe, just recently visited Guatemala.
I know.
And he spoke about the conversation they were having, including the SARS student. So some of us will look at it and say, but wait, how he just gone there and talk with the president, and apparently they may have resolved the SARS thing, but look what happened now. The armed forces come and try to take advantage of our citizens who had a right to go where they're gone. Yeah. But again, if we begin to get into the kind of nitty-gritty, that's not the way for mature, civilized countries. And I think in this case, the government did the right thing.
No, I have no problem with what the government did. They did what they needed to do, and they did it responsibly, and they did it in a very timely manner. So I have no problem with that.
That Guatemala accepting the visit of Belize head of state to meet with their head of state is in itself almost a recognition that we are a different country from them. Did you ever look at it like that?
That doesn't stop them from claiming us. So they have accepted every president, and their president have accepted every prime minister, and our prime minister have accepted consistent presidents of Guatemala since we became independent.
And yeah, okay. Joe, someone know why Guatemalans got it with guns?
Very good question. Now listen to me now. I'm giving an opinion based on my experience with Guatemala and how Guatemalans behave. Guatemala is a very polarized country. They have what they call the oligarchies, and they run Guatemala. They're not the peasants who live on the border and the areas, the way the millions in. They're not they run Guatemala. Guatemala is run by the oligarchy, and the oligarchy is controlled by the military. So not even the president can overrule the military. They move in tomorrow if you get trouble. So you could sit with the president, just like what they do with Arevalo Awene. He sit with Belize, and he come to an agreement, and then get rid of him because of that, and who get rid of him? So you have to understand what kind of government they have over there.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's a very strident kind of dealing.
No, it's an oligarchy they have.
Yeah.
Just have like imperial government, like kings. The oligarchy, the elitists in Guatemala believe like they're not kings. They're run things.
Let's move on to the students and the length of their hair being not expelled, but turned away and sent home until they adjust it. Right move, wrong move on the part of the school.
I'll let Lisa go first.
Well, I think personally, and this is my opinion. First of all, I will talk about my experience and I'll answer your question. As a child going to school, every time I went to school, and this happened in Belize, I must tell you, the teachers and the students would have a problem with my thick, puffy hair, to the point that they used to call me Tina Turner. They used to call, they used to call me Amanda Miguel. These were women that had these big poofed hair back in the early 80s and mid 80s. And I became very self-conscious about it, to the point that I, even up to today, I struggle with taking pride in my own hair. I struggle with it. I half the time I don't comb my hair, I don't look at my hair, and it left a damaging trauma over the last 40 almost 45 years of my life, that I was bullied from a very young age because of my hair, considering that I was also growing up in a town that was predominantly Latin, or what we call Latino based. So everyone had long, pretty black, light brown hair, and mine was just thick and wild and unruly. If I put my hair in a ponytail, the front of my head would have these little balls sticking out. And they made fun of me because I could not ever get my hair to stay down. So from that standpoint, I think that what the school did with these young ladies could affect them as they move forward in life. Not, and I'm hoping that their parents could instill a better, how can I say, can instill in them confidence, can instill in them that they are worthy, that their value is not only about their hair but the way they carry themselves.
Well,
That number one.
I
But there's nothing wrong with the girls braids and the length of the braids. There's so many of us that have long hair, whether it's straight or not. The hair was not a problem. I think the school chose to pick and choose who they wanted that day to penalize, and these were the women that got penalized. My concern is, where's the National Creole Council, where's the Garifuna Council, when it comes to,
some
because
listen.
it's also an ethnic
You see,
problem.
you're going on the wrong road.
But
You
but
really,
let
No, it's not
but
going on the
before
wrong
you say
road.
that, before you go farther, I just want to say, Lisa, I love your hair.
all right. So,
Thank you.
all right. Yeah, that will help her now. You can look at your hair. Listen to me. The last two, this is not the first year we've had this problem with hair. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
The first 2 years happened to have been in Orange Walk and Corozal.
Hmm.
Those two districts are predominantly Hispanic. These were Hispanic people that they're sending home because their hair was too long. So to make this an ethnic thing, to go to this victimology is ridiculous. We need to stop it, man. It had nothing to do with ethnic black hair, they're saying. In fact, I think more than anything, what they're doing, the hair, those weren't their real hair. That may extensions, that may braids. So what are you telling these children that you need to fix your hair and make it look more like the other kind of children's hair? Is that it? So if that anything, that's the way to do. So I don't understand that at all. And we tend to use every little thing for find some kind of for make it uh, um, discriminatory in that way. There's a thing about rules, and like the uniforms. Children use uniform for the reason why they don't want to go. Some go with some fancy clothes, while others who can't afford it wear one raggedy clothes. So everybody use uniform, and you don't see a difference, a disparity there. Same thing with the hair. Everybody should have their hair a certain way and a length, and certainly well groomed. I do not think that it has anything to do with the hair at all, but the fact of establishing discipline, which is a necessary part of the lessons that we learn in school. Just my point of
I
view.
believe
Mr.
in
Chairman,
discipline.
can I take on from where you left off?
Go ahead, sir.
You said discipline, and I fully agree with you that there's need for discipline. But discipline needs to be shaped by the social evolution of human beings. So to me, the argument must not be centered about the here, but it's the social evolution of human beings. There was a time, and let's look at disciplining, because it is about discipline. There was a time in the schools when corporal punishment was accepted. When the child misbehaved, he could be whipped. The time came with the social evolution, the permissiveness, let's call it, within that social evolution, that you cannot whip the child again.
And look how wonderful things have turned out.
No, I hold on to the belief that there should have been a continuation of corporal punishment, but not to abuse the child, no. But again, that didn't stop the idea of having discipline. So to me, the here in itself is not the issue. The issue is that you have to look at discipline in the context of the social evolution taking place in humanities. So when you come and whip the child, you could have said, boy, you still happen to know. If we never gone so permissive, we don't may have to punish the man, because the child would have been punished from young when he do wrongs. The reality of the world is that there is a social evolution taking place. And so therefore, for a child not having the right to go to school with an artificial hair, I believe that that school is outdated in that kind of discipline.
When you talk about this social
Let
evolution, though,
me get something in there.
go ahead.
Um, Mr. Chairman, I did not see anything wrong with the young ladies.
Not certainly not the three that they showed.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
weren't the only three children sent home. Those
Yeah.
were the three that the media put because they wanted to control the narrative. Simple.
Okay.
They picked the best of the three.
But those three didn't have anything that their hair was not excessively long. It was not excessively bulky. It was weaved, and people have a right, like Mr. Coy is saying, the social changes in the society has made that almost a normal approach of what they're doing. And so, and I didn't see any rules. I looked at the rules as far as they were published online, and I didn't see anything wrong in the way they were wearing their hair that would cause them to be in violation of any rules. So I think whoever is making these assessments and sending home these kids really need to come up with some clear guidelines. If they want to say, if the rule is your hair cannot be more than 8 inches down your back, then that applies to everybody. If
Yes.
but they cannot have, you cannot have braids, or you cannot have twist, or whatever those particular style features were.
Greg, yeah. Listen to me. You should see some of these children that go to school, and many of them they send them back and then come back and then go back and then no trim the hair. Some of the hair really outlandish.
I
Now
understand.
they're not the media not will show you then one day because that no support the point. What I don't know what they're trying to do.
Well,
The
make I tell
point,
you what they are trying to do.
one of those, Joe, because
sorry.
children. Let me finish my
Yeah,
point.
no, sorry, go ahead.
Children are not this social evolution you talk about. Children have a level of protection to a certain age. We just kind of think today now with some policeman who's supposed to have sexual relations with a child, and that child has no right to even consent. If that child say yes, I want to do it, okay, I could do it, she has no right to do that. Children of a certain age are protected and have no rights like that. And when I say that, I don't mean deny them have rights of being a human beings, but there are certain liberties that they aren't entitled to because they enjoy the protection that comes with that underage thing. So when they get 16, 17, 18, even in the higher education, they're able to do that. They don't have to use uniform. And their hair don't stop grow because they cut it when they're young. So I think that just one, they need to know. We have to stop give picnic when they want and make them understand that you have rules that you have to follow. You might not like it, but they are there for, and the reason being that we want you to understand that you have to be disciplined in life in order to be successful. Am
But
I?
Mr. Chairman, sorry, can I come in back?
Yes, you may.
No. I think again, we are being distracted by some specific examples of discipline. So let us use it. When I was in primary school, one, we couldn't bow our head. The parents would not allow it. And the school will not accept us with bald head. We could have gone to school barefooted. They never stop me from going to school barefooted. I've been to school 1 or 2 times barefooted. They not stop me. No. Today, apparently, like Yul Bryan has started that even a prime minister bald head. So now people the bald head today. Men the bald
Man,
head.
why you talk about me? Because you got a full head of hair there.
Yeah. So you could go to school now, and then the boys can walk with bald head. So to me, when they get hung up on a matter of the style of the hair, that has gone beyond. That is not a part of your discipline today.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is simple. Don't get distracted because today, no, you don't go to school barefooted. I haven't seen no child going to school barefooted today. Everybody can wear a tennis.
Are you saying then we just make them go how they want, do anything they want?
No, I think there should be guidelines, but I don't.
Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line?
Well,
you will draw the line.
It becomes obvious when you. I see some people having their hair way down to their back of their foot, swinging all over the place.
Listen, human nature, they will always push the boundaries. They will push it. You have to, at some point, say, you know what, we're going to stick to a certain procedure here on form, if you will. We're not, you're going to have your hair a certain length and well groomed. Bottom line, there's nothing wrong with that. You can't just.
There's nothing wrong with that, and I believe in that. But I'm just saying, in the people that I saw, the 3 young ladies, I didn't see any problem with those.
Again, those are the only 3 that they showed you. I wish the media had have really gone through all of day and see what all those children look like, because I guarantee you some of them, and these are 3 that they probably just were there because they never want to seem to be just picking out certain people or whatever reason. But I saw them also. I didn't think that they look exceptionally bad. And they don't look bad at all, but the fact that, in fact, that they had on extensions and braids, that's all. But those are the 3 you saw, and I think that the unfortunate thing, because the media don't give you an honest view of what is happening. They control the narrative. So they want the narrative to go a certain way, and so they show you 3 people that look fairly decent, and then hold them up as the example, and then we want to show the whole issue, because 3 people were in showy never looked so bad. They should have showed us.
They didn't look bad at all. But then I wondered why those 3 were selected if I couldn't find any fault with them.
So why were they sent home?
Yeah.
So if those are the 3, if what we're saying is, if the media, let's say, because part of what I'm understanding is, if we're saying that the media sent home the best 3 of all the ones
not sent home, not sent home, not sent home. The media didn't send home anybody.
Presented.
Huh?
The media presented. You said sent home.
No, because one of the articles I read said that they were sent home.
Yes,
okay.
The media. Yeah, but you said the media sent home. The media did not send anybody home. Yeah,
right.
Just for clarity,
Yes, thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, if they chose 3 of the best, if the media chose 3 of the best per se, then no one in the public like ourselves saw anything wrong with it. We didn't see any infraction against the school policy to where, with why these young ladies were asked to leave the campus. My other concern about them leaving the campus, does the school system in Belize have any laws to guardian children and before they send them home like that? I mean, because here we just can't send kids home without.
Usually they have to call your parents. Usually they have to call your parents.
Hold on. The rules of the school are quite clear.
That question has been answered. The Minister of Education answered the question that there is no such thing. The school should not be allowed to do it. They had no right to do what they did.
Okay. It's a government school, right? It's a government school.
Yes.
Well, doesn't it matter?
It does matter. Yeah, you have private
all
schools that have their own
governed.
rules.
No,
No,
all
Mr. Chairman. Mr.
all
Chairman,
schools are
please.
governed by
No
the.
what?
Every school in this country right now, public schools are fully financed by the government. Private schools are financed by the government.
Partially, yeah.
Not partially, but a large amount.
Yes, yes.
Government is paying nearly all of those
Yeah.
private schools. They are
Yeah,
not
they
full
pay
private
they,
schools.
they pay
Some
the
of-
teachers, right? Or
they command
75% of the
norms,
teachers'
the
fee.
commands are the norms set by the Ministry of Education.
Yes.
But let's come back to a very important point. I am saying to you again that the evolution, the social evolution, is that for right now the purpose we learn after a period that the purpose of going to school is to learn. No, if you're going to learn in school, it will require discipline.
Are they
No.
learning in school?
What I'm saying to you, Mr. Chairman, the purpose of going to school is to learn.
Right,
No, for you to learn, you need to have discipline.
right.
No, the discipline you need is not the discipline about the style of your hair.
That's a part of discipline, Joe. It's all a part of a lesson that you're learning.
I am saying to you, Mr. Chairman.
You to be specific and to pick out that number.
No,
That.
I am saying to you that if you define your purpose, as I said to you earlier, for political parties, you have allegiance to principles that define your purpose. If the purpose of the school is to learn, evidently in the discipline,
Learn what, Joe?
whatever
Learn
you go
what?
to, what you go to school to learn, you go to school to get knowledge, and then you go to school to get intelligence to apply knowledge. That's what learning is about. No, I am saying there was a time when the teacher came lash you, whip you. That has gone. If you look now beyond the children or the child and you look into the society with females in particular, the amount of females today you see wearing shirts. Shirts, when I say shirt, that the back is out. That is a social evolution taking place.
Going to school? You see them going to school like that?
No, I am saying to
Well,
you,
when they discuss going to school, maybe see I really say. Maybe
not-
the children.
do not be surprised if some years from now they will be able to go to school. The females will be able to go to school in short pants.
Right, and things are getting so much better now. I really saying maybe the children them should be ones to decide what about the curriculum. That's right. What are you saying? That they should decide the curriculum also, the children? Are you saying that? With all that we know about life, discussing the length of the children here in this age is a little backwards. His
I agree.
opinion. All right, and that's all right. That's all right. I'm saying to you that social evolution you're talking about does not include children. Children if we are to develop a society where children come up understanding the difference between right and wrong and what to do and what not to do and abide by laws and whatnot, we're gonna have to then have them trained and disciplined. And these are little things that help to get the discipline across. Like everything else, every virtue has to be practiced. If you want to be kind, you have to practice kindness. Discipline, you practice abiding by the rules and laws that exist. Simple. Now you want to change the law and you have been big on that. Then consider changing the law. Address the law and show why it should be changed. But until it is changed, if you are going to a school that says you have to have your hair a certain length and in a certain way, then you have to abide by that until you change that rule. So let us look at changing it.
But there's no such rule, Mr. Chairman. The Ministry of Education.
All these schools, if they didn't have a rule, they wouldn't send nobody home. There's a rule, whether it's written down in a handbook or not, because these children are informed of it every single year. And every time they go to school, they know that these rules exist.
But
all right.
I think the Minister of Education have answered it again, who happen to be also the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He's saying that it seems that it is because of the person being a new manager. He sought to implement some rules which are not there and ought not to have been, because the Ministry of Education laid down these rules now. But the point that Mr. Hamilton brought out is the important point. How many of them, including parents, are engaged in developing curriculum and how they are to behave in the schools?
Are you saying the children ought to do it?
I am saying to you that there is nothing wrong in engaging the children with their parents as to how they may attire, how they must use their hair. But the Minister of Education is saying that there's no such thing under the
But
education rule.
you're quoting him as if he's God Almighty, man. He's made some mistakes before. They
No,
hear
no,
what Artan is saying.
he's quoting what they have as the rules.
Yeah, right. Artan is saying that some teachers themselves are braided hair. I
Well,
don't know. Are you going to hold them by the same rule,
Yeah,
the
they're
same
teachers.
yardstick?
No,
No,
that's
he's right. He's right.
He's
They
right in
do
what?
have, but they're
He's
they're
right in
teachers.
what?
They're teachers.
Yes, they are
They're
indeed.
not the
But
same as students, and
they're not. They
they're
have gotten
different
their education.
privileges.
They don't need the children
All right.
need to go to school. The
So
teacher could go somewhere else.
if the teacher goes to school tomorrow in a very, very short pants.
Oh man, you
Female teacher.
get hypothetical. We know. I know argue hypothetical
No,
like
because you're
that.
saying that the teacher
That has nothing to do with this.
But
With the type of hair,
the school
stick
has
with hair.
rules for
No,
teachers
I think
too.
this gentleman here, Arton Castillo, is he almost lead by example.
Yes.
Well, no, but there's nothing wrong with braids. I don't see a
Exactly.
problem with braids.
That's
And
right.
and teachers have braids,
That's right.
but there are rules also for teachers as to what they can do with their hair. I'm
Exactly.
sure.
And I don't know if
But
the
There's
children.
I wanted to talk about
rules for
something
hair,
a little.
man.
I wanted to talk about something just a little bit on that, and I posted it because it shows that here, particularly, they were featuring like Kenyan young girls where they were forced to like shave their hair to like just almost like boys. They're using like a number 2 or number 3 blade, and a lot of these young women are suffering some type of effect that they through their entire primary school life they're required to cut their hair to this short level, and it really seems
Where
to
does that
affect them.
happen?
In Kenya.
All right,
Kenya.
yeah, that. Now tell me something, because
No, because I'm saying probably they based it as some of the past colonial principles that people tie themselves to that cause them to have this kind of idea about.
we would need to look at that. I am not seeing that. I want to ask you something though. When young men enter the army, what are the first thing they have to do?
Cut their hair.
Cut their hair. Yeah, haircut. Are we
Yeah.
getting to the point now then we're gonna have them question that? And these are young men
No,
that are of
you
age,
don't have a choice.
18 years.
Right?
All right. So
And
because you don't have to go in the army, but if you go in, you have to cut your hair.
yeah.
I think that basically the same thing with the school. You don't have to go to the school, but if you go to the school
And I always believe that if there's a rule at the school, you need to follow it. And if you don't like the rule, change the rule.
or challenge it, but you can't change it just because you don't like
But
it.
No. You
but
could
part
change.
of
You
that
could
school
vote to change the
policy
rule
was
or get
not
the
very
school policy
clear
to change the
either.
rule.
What,
That's the problem. That's the problem. School policy did not show, from what I saw, and the 3 young ladies that they had used as the demonstrators, I did not see any violation in the school policy. Anything there.
They have a length, a prescribed length that they require
No, it
students
didn't
to have.
show a length. It didn't show a
It
length.
is in the school policy. You're not going to see it in no handbook. Now, those children, even the ones they showed, had braids, extensions. Those weren't their natural hair. And so, what are you doing? What? I'm trying to make a point, though. I don't care what you care about, Gregory. I'm trying to make a point. The point is that are you then suggesting to these children, as Lisa said, your hair not good enough, so you better make it look like somebody else's hair? That the part of it also,
So
Can you see
you think
that aspect?
school is trying to encourage people to use their natural hair and not to have extension?
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that at all.
And should you impose it on children that they must have just their natural hair?
No,
Right.
they shouldn't either.
Yeah.
But if they have something on it, then let it be of a certain length and
Well,
let
the
it
three
be a
girls that they
prescribed
showed-
length.
The 3 girls that the press showed from back way, those were natural hair along with the artificial hair.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what they were.
Yes.
And
And?
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't see them as excessively long. I didn't see it as too big and bulky.
We're on different sides of this argument, and you guys have won. Let me just say it. We have to live with it. You guys have won. Let them go. My question, though, and one question before I go: are we satisfied with what we're getting out of our education system that we worry about some hair? Are we satisfied with what these children are learning and coming out at the level of, I'm telling you, I've seen fourth farm students that cannot read, cannot know how many months in the year. Don't simple things that we should be teaching them how to think and come away with. They don't know. So
Well,
maybe this is what we
I
should be
can't
concentrating.
understand that. Yeah, yeah.
We
If
should
that is happening,
concentrate on this.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I
Well,
like
That
when and
the
Mr.
prime
Chairman.
minister did say our school is not, our teachers are not teaching and our students are not learning. So
yeah.
maybe he did made a clear
I
point
like
on
when
that.
I thought, Mr. Chairman. Let's pray to the Creator to give us the courage to accept the thing that we cannot change.
Yeah. Um, I'm
And the
thinking.
courage to change the things that we can.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking that here,
And
that
the
at
wisdom
least
to know the difference.
here
Yes.
is the least of the problems at school for we to worry about
Mhm.
changing some rules just so that a child can have it one way, which they're having their own way, and it's not helping them to become good adults. We need the children to be good adults for us to have a world that carries on in a good way. So well, I think that discrimination, fine. Spanish girls are used to having okay. Um, all right.
It's a part of their culture.
No, that would be um a contradiction if they're saying, "Oh, the Spanish girls can have long hair, but the black girls can't." I think that would be a problem. Then that we could look at and address.
That's
But
right. But the
but if
culture is what will determine it.
But
Not the school.
what is the policy? Have they been sending because like I said, the last 2 years this was in Corozal and Orange Walk, and those are primarily the ethnic groups that are there, the Spanish people. So they were sending them home for having long hair. And that's they challenge it or that way. We never got anywhere with it. I don't know if we're gonna get anywhere this time. Let's see what happens. If the Minister of Education is saying and he has the authority, left the picking and make them wear when they want, then go ahead. But you risk now the teachers dropping their hand and say, well, you know what? You can teach them it. I mean,
Well,
it's extreme.
but you need proper rules that could be you know you can't set rules that are not you're not able to follow. And in this case probably there's a lot of misunderstanding on the part of the people that are trying to enforce the rules. And so the administration at the school needs to clear that up, because
But,
from looking at the three young ladies, I see absolutely no problem,
but,
and I didn't cite any violation from my vantage point in
but what we
those.
could have done to Mr. Morrison, Mr. Chairman, and Letitia, one,
Mhm.
they have to come to school by a certain time. Let's say it's 8:30. They have to be there by 8:30. When they are at school and they go into that classroom, they are there to listen to the teacher and to learn. They cannot be
Mhm.
playing around and throwing things at each other.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You must be there to learn, and you must learn. Now, when it's recess, you get a recess, you go out there, and you conduct yourself socializing, playing sport, whatever you're doing. So to me, what we are looking at are things that have long gone and no longer have a place in learning.
Yeah.
And we're spending a lot of time over something that I believe has gone beyond.
Yeah, yeah.
The issue
Mhm.
behind the way
If you guys remember, there was a time when they were sending kids home, because one of my nephew said, "Uncle Greg, could you send me a black tennis shoes because I can't go to school in any other color shoes?" All these things, and I understand why some of these rules are enforced, because they don't want you going in colors that would provoke gang type of affiliation. So
it's for the uniformity. It's for uniformity.
yeah,
And
yeah.
uniformity looks better. Anyway, guys, we're out of time. Um, yeah, thank you very much.
Chairman,
Stimulating.
before we leave, I need to make a quick announcement.
Go ahead, Sean.
Um, Sea Smoke and the Kingdom April will be at the Park Fest in New York this weekend. There's a booth there if you guys want T-shirts or any gear related to Sea Smoke and Kingdom April. Please visit our booth. You'll get to meet our producer Clinton Young, and he'd be happy to engage with all of you. So thank you guys, and let's support the Park Fest because it's also for a good cause.
Do we have
And
any park festive activities here in California that you're aware of for the 10th, Lisa?
Yes, so there is an event happening, I think in the Inglewood area, which always, I think
Yeah.
they've been
Okay.
doing it the last 10 years.
Okay, I
But
know
I
where
don't
it
have
is.
much information on it.
Okay. Okay.
Let me
It's
encourage
usually
you.
at Little Belize. I think that's the place that usually hosts it out there. Okay.
Right.
Let me encourage everybody out there to please go out there and support the Park Fest and support Kingdom Apparel. Get you a T-shirt, because in that way you will be supporting this show, and we want to keep this on and keep the discussion going. Right? We have no agenda, no sacred cow, no axe to grind. We just discuss the issues in an unbiased format. Guys, have a nice day, a nice evening. See you next week. See you. Take it away. Yeah, man.
I am a royal coffee. My style sticky like toffee. They could have holla say me ugly, but a loon pretty girl stay to chase me. Royal coffee, and my style sticky like toffee. How could you call me ugly when a loon pretty girl stay to chase me? Minor, tell you things you make you catch feelings. Your mere existence, you want left to examine. Ebenezer me gone, me know for the squeeze dumpling. Believe woman, sweet like you pumpkin. See me, but you don't know me. Confident, say that me bossy. Inquisitive, you call me nosy. Defend me rights, holler at me chancy. Me know this show no mercy. We don't take no back chat from nobody. You know have feel like me, but you must respect me. Tell me smooth. I am a royal coffee. My style sticky like toffee. You could have holla say me ugly, but a lone pretty girl stay to chase me. Me cool and deadly. Machine gun Kelly. Machiavelli. Stay ready like Freddy. We have woman plenty. Woman the city, woman the country. You could act like you don't want believe me. Ask the white, that me ballet. I am a royal coffee. My style sticky like toffee. You could have holla say me ugly, but a lone pretty girl stay to chase me. Royal coffee, and my style sticky like toffee. How could you call me ugly when a lone pretty girl stay to chase me? Lot of sexy woman come out of the valley. Me like the way the body move when they party. And a bitch white and Alta Leslie. And the one name Gilda Courtney. Dano Jam, Sadamus Jelly from me Lille. Me know what we do with me till it. Me grow up as a bedroom bully. Bucket with vein full up them belly. I am a royal coffee. My style sticky like toffee. You could have holla say me ugly, but a lone pretty girl stay to chase me. Royal coffee, and my style sticky like toffee. How could you call me ugly when a lone pretty girl stay to chase me? I am a royal coffee, my style sticky like toffee. You could have holla say me ugly, but a lone pretty girl stay to chase me. Royal coffee, and my style sticky like toffee. How could you call me ugly when a lone pretty girl stay to chase me? Real, with a Creole, but we no normal. With a coffee and we royal. I am a royal coffee. My style sticky like toffee. You could have holla say me ugly, but a lone pretty girl stay to chase.